Welcome to Founders Blend. We are so excited to have you. I have a few people I need to thank. Some of our community partners. The Midland Development Corporation, Second Story, UTPB Office of Innovation and Commercialization, Midland College, BEDC, BAM Consulting, Answers Marketing, and Phil Hunter Media. Thank you to our sponsors this morning. That'll be the Midland Rum Crew, back there sponsoring our breakfast, and UTPB for providing our coffee. Thank you, guys. And then I have a couple of other announcements. If you look around on the tables, you will see we've got sponsors needed for the Founders Blend Mixer. That'll be March 20th in the evening. It'll be an evening event. If you'd like to contribute, you can email me. My email is on that flyer. Then I've got the Permian Basin Leadership Symposium. If you see this flyer, our very own Angel is speaking there. He'll be emceeing today. So these two flyers, if you're interested, they are scattered about. And there is a little bit of moisture coming down behind those chairs over there, but if you're from West Texas, we appreciate all the moisture.
All right, thank you, Art. Okay, well, we're kind of up front. I was going to ask everybody to really come up to the front rows, but I think some of y'all in the back could probably move up. We got a little bit for the cameras here. Fill it in. So my name is Angel Garcia, and I'm going to be your MC for this morning. And we have two great businesses. I've been talking to them this morning, and they're exceptional at what they do. They're passionate about what they do because their purpose is people. The purpose is developing other people, helping people. So that's always a good sign for a business. We're going to have the Insurance Hunter and Desert Dreams Gym. First up is Desert Dreams Gym. So originally from Longview, Deanna Ring is the owner of two successful businesses, including Desert Dreams Gymnastics. Deanna competed in gymnastics from 8 to 7 to 16 and coached the sport throughout college. In 2012, she relocated to Midland to pursue a career in oil and gas, where she worked for nearly 12 years before realizing her childhood dream of owning a gymnastics center. So please welcome Deanna Ring.
So, like I said, I'm Deanna Ring. I grew up in East Texas, moved out here to West Texas to be financially independent. And honestly, I believe that there's no better place than Midland. From where I started to where I am now, there's no other place that I could have reached the success that I have reached. My husband and I started our oil field company with a hope and a prayer and sheer determination to not fail. And as that took off, and over the 8 years that we built that company, I was able to hire two wonderful women to really take over my role that I was playing in that company, and it gave me the freedom to step away. And our goal at that time was to essentially retire. With gymnastics being my first love, and if somebody would have asked me whenever I was a child what I wanted to be whenever I grew up, I wanted to be a gymnastics coach. And, most childhood dreams, you grow up and you get your real job and you let go of those childhood things. My daughter fell in love with gymnastics just like I did. I had her in a gym out here, and it just wasn't the same experience there that I had growing up, and I wanted to give the kids of West Texas the experience and the love and the passion for gymnastics that I had growing up. I had a very positive and encouraging experience where I learned tons of life lessons that helped shape and mold me into the human that I am today. So how we got started is that I wanted to give kids a different experience out here than what was available. So didn't really know if it was going to take off, how it was going to take off, how I was going to find the coaches, if the kids were going to come, all of those things. So once I finally got my husband on board, that was the key thing, was convincing him, like, hey, honey, I know you wanted to retire, but I think we need to open a gym. Things kind of got the ball rolling. He was the real push behind getting it to happen. We decided to kind of play it safe and built a small facility in our backyard with a dual purpose. So if the gymnastics center failed, it was going to be the man cave and his race car shop, all the things. If the gymnastics center took off, then it would be kind of an incubator of sorts, just a starter home. And then before I even broke ground on this building, I already had future floor plans drawn out for the permanent building. Within 3 months of opening, we were fully enrolled and had a wait list already started of kids that wanted to come. So it was better than I had ever imagined it was going to be. And really, God kind of opened a lot of doors. Like I said, I didn't know where I was going to find the coaches. I didn't really want to take coaches from other gyms in the area or have to coach or anything. And he just kept kind of telling me, like, a field of dreams kind of thing. Like, if you build it, they'll come. And so I built it, and everything just kind of fell into place as far as my staff. So, like I said, gymnastics taught me a lot of life lessons that helped mold me into the person that I am today. And that's kind of what I want to pass on. My goal is to build good, productive humans through gymnastics. So one of the biggest lessons that I want to teach every child that comes into my gym is to not be afraid to fall. It's very important in gymnastics to learn how to fall safely, but not just falling in the gym, but falling in life. I want to teach them that it's okay to fail. That failure is not the be-all, end-all. It's actually a step towards success. If I would have been afraid to fail and too scared to take the risk, this never would have happened. Even with the other company, like, failure wasn't an option, but we failed a lot along the way, and I have failed exponentially more times than I have succeeded. So I want to pass that on to all the kids that come through the program that I have, teaching them that it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes, and what's not okay is not trying. So that's something that I'd like to pass on to you guys. Like, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes. Like, know that failing is part of the story. It's part of the process and what will get you to success. Staffing. Along with every other business in West Texas, staffing is an issue. Staffing is an issue with our other business. Staffing is an issue with the gym. It's hard to find good, quality people that will show up every day, that will love your company like you do, and pour into your company, and especially in this industry, gymnastics, pour into these children the way that I want them to be poured into. I want to love the kids at West Texas, and I want all my coaches to love these kids, and I want the kids to feel loved and safe and encouraged whenever they come through the doors. So the mottos that we live by with our hiring, be slow to hire and quick to fire. If somebody is not living up to your standards or your expectations, let them go. It's better to be understaffed than to be poorly staffed. When you're poorly staffed, one, if you keep that problem person around, or the person that's not holding up their end of the deal, then your A players are going to come down to their level, because they see that they're getting the exact same treatment, whether they're working their tails off or they're not giving their full. The biggest thing in the gymnastics industry and the service industry is hiring the personality and training the skill. I can teach anybody how to coach gymnastics. I can teach any person in here how to teach a kid how to do a handstand and a cartwheel and a forward roll. I can't teach you how to be nice. I can't teach you how to be funny. I can't teach you how to be silly and to play with the kids. So that's what I'm hiring. So And whenever I was learning that and I was taught to hire the personality and train the skill, that was a big game changer for me. So if you own a business, think about how you can find the right personality that's going to fill your needs, because you can teach anybody the skills that they need to do the job. But if you hire somebody that has great skills, but their personality does not mesh with your team, you're going to have problems down the road. So one of the ways that we find those personalities is in our interview questions. We catered our interview questions to dig out that personality. So whenever they come into our interview, I promise you they're not going to forget it. And they're going to remember our interview for the rest of their life. One of the questions that we ask is, what's your favorite animal? Okay, and then they usually tell us, oh, one girl said she likes dolphins. Okay, can you give me your best impersonation of a dolphin? That's usually how it is. That's their face. This girl got down on the floor, laid sideways, and went, like, that was her dolphin. And so that's how we find that personality. I want somebody that's not going to be embarrassed or afraid of what people think of them, because especially in the preschool area, the parents are there. They're watching like hawks. So their parents aren't going to say, oh, this person's crazy. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person's so good with my kid. And that's what's going to leave the impression. So try to think about ways that you can cater your interview questions to dig out the personality of the person that you're hiring and make sure that they're going to mesh well with your team. So what's next? Like I said, I had already had floor plans drawn up for the future gym. Things will change here and there. I've already decided that I need another room in the facility to just do interviews. I need another. I'm going to put another room for a chiropractic interviews. That comes in real handy, especially whenever I'm coaching and a kid makes a crazy fall and I have to sacrifice my body for them. So the new facility is triple the size that I have now. I've got over 300 kids enrolled. I have 600 kids on my wait list. So I have enough people on the wait list, and that's not even including all the people that are turned away by the fact that we have a wait list. Wait lists are an issue, by the way. It's a good problem to have, but still a problem. People see that we have a wait list and they don't even want to add on to it. They want here and now. They want that instant gratification. And it's hard to explain to people that want that instant gratification that I'm sorry that we have so many people on this wait list and that the people that we currently have don't want to leave. It's a good problem, but a problem nonetheless. The preschool area, let's see that here. This will all be glass in the parent viewing area. There will be a viewing area upstairs that can overlook the whole facility. This preschool area is 3 times the size that we normally have for preschool. This will be the rec gym, and that's the size of the current gym that we have now. And then over here, we'll have the competitive team. I have 17 kids on the competitive team right now. I have 2 kids that have the potential to compete in college. And so whenever I build this new facility, it's going to have the top of the line kids and matting that will help them really gain the skills that they'll need to pursue a career past high school in gymnastics. We're in the process of securing land. The land next door to us was owned by PNR, Pioneer Natural Resources. We had reached out to them. We were in the works with trying to get a deal made, and then Exxon bought them out. So now we're going to start that process over with Exxon and hopefully have the same kind of situation there. Just want the surface, don't complete the minerals, let me build a gym, and help the kids in West Texas to get more of those kids into our course. Y'all can scan this QR code. It will take you to our website or our Facebook page. It will give you our email address, the gym's phone number, and also my cell phone. If y'all have any questions, y'all can reach out to me. And then if you have any questions now.
All right, awesome. Give her another round of applause here. super cool. I love your interview process. I think we can all take away something from that, because you're right, it's about fit, because you can have the most highly qualified person on paper and they get in and they're not culture fit.
Exactly. So one of the things, y'all saw all the Larry Nassar stuff. You see all the safe sport things that are popping up about coaches in gymnastics. I didn't realize that my positive and encouraging experience was a minority in the gymnastics industry until I moved to West Texas. And until I opened my own gym and I brought in all these coaches to hire and see where they came from and their experience in the sport. And that's what I want to protect the kids from West Texas from. I don't want them to have that experience in gymnastics. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be positive. It can be encouraging. It can be a loving, safe environment. So it is very hard in this industry to find coaches that don't coach the old school way. My coach growing up, whenever we bent our legs, he would jokingly say, "Oh, I'm going to put toothpicks behind your knees." And we all laughed and we thought that was so silly, because he would never do that. And then one of my coaches told me that her coaches actually did that. And that was a real thing. I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought it was just a joke. I thought it was something silly. And those are the things that happen in West Texas. Not in West Texas, but in gymnastics. I saw kids get yelled at and degraded and bullied in the sport. And I don't want that. I want the kids to have the same experience that I had. I want gymnastics to be their first love. I want it to be a lifelong love and create lifelong athletes that love being healthy and fit and also that are resilient and know how to not give up whenever things get hard.
Thank you for doing it. That is so much needed because things are hard to begin with.
Exactly.
Gymnastics it's hard, right? And then you add on the extra layer of the bullying, the fear-based, training.
Yes.
So you have a positive experience, and so you're passing that along because this is something that kids are gonna follow with the rest of their lives, right? Because it's stuff with you the rest of their life.
Yes.
What I love about it is she is so passionate about what she makes, and that it just comes out. We were talking earlier. We were talking about how entrepreneurs get no sleep. Who can relate, right? We're talking about that, and she's like, "Yes, if I just stay up at night, just thinking about my kids."
My kids. That'd be
Right? Yeah. So you get it. Your customers, right? That's who they are. But they're more than just customers, right? You consider them extended part of your family.
Yes.
Because you take care of you. Just sacrifice your body when they have a bad fall.
Yes. In our coach's break room, I have a quote on the wall that says, a good coach can change a routine, a great coach can change a life. And that's what my coaches did. They changed my life. I had a pretty rough home life. Gymnastics was my safe haven. And I want to be that impact. I want to have the legacy that my coaches left behind. They impacted so many kids in East Texas, and I want to be that positive impact out here in West Texas on these children. I want to be known for, oh, that's Coach Deanna. She coached me whenever I was a kid, and she coached my kids, and she coached my kids' kids. I want to be that coach.
Awesome. Well, you will on your way.
Thanks.
And what makes you about your speech is how many are on the wait list?
Over 600.
Over 600. So next time somebody comes,
Busting episodes.
yeah, so next time somebody comes to me, hey, Angel, what business should I start?
I do. Go ahead and start.
Yeah,
I won't mind at all.
Yeah, no. So we have a question from the audience here.
Okay.
So, how is your interaction with competitors in the area? Have you learned anything from them, or have you not met or interacted with any of the owners of the many other gymnastic gyms?
So, my daughter started out at New Heights. I coached there from 2015 till 2022, off and on. I couldn't commit to being on payroll, so I just volunteered my time there due to my other company. We have a trucking company, so at the time, I had my CDL. I drove. So anytime that we got a call, if there wasn't somebody available, I had to go and carry a load to a rig or whatever. So I couldn't commit to a paid position because I didn't know when I was going to be available to coach or not. So, like I said, volunteered there. After we left there, my daughter and I went to the YMCA in Big Spring. They have a gymnastics program there, and she trained there for a little bit. And then she and I both took toeing classes at Legacy. So I've been around to the other facilities. One of my big things was cleanliness. I wanted to have the cleanest, prettiest gym in West Texas, and I think I kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. And as far as the owners go, different strokes for different folks, I guess. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Obviously, winning is good, but that's just icing on the cake. Like, I would rather create good humans and have good gymnasts than create elite gymnasts that are broken humans. So right now, like, if my kids score middle of the pack, if they get a medal, if they don't get a medal, like, I don't really care right now. And I know that will build and that will get better and better as we go. But I don't want to win at the expense of my children's mental health.
Yeah, because that's your mission, that's your purpose.
Yes.
So on the note on the competitors, it's hard enough, when it's a regular business. I like to collaborate, with anybody else who's in my space. I'm not sure they collaborate and compete, but in gymnastics, it's already competitive, so I can see the mentality will continue there. But we do have a comment. It's not a question from the audience. That said, my preschool isn't on the waiting list, but everyone says it is worth the wait. Best place in town.
Thank you. I wish I have people that message me, reach out on Facebook or whatever, like, hey, we've been on the wait list. Is there anything you can do? And I wish I could. Like, here's what I can do. If somebody will give me the land, I can get the building going, and if I can get a bigger building, I can get more kids in.
There you go. Excellent.
So give me some land, and I will build it, and they will come. I'll get all those kids on the wait list.
So another question: how do you separate your work life and home life, especially since your work is right next to you?
Backyard. I'm not very good at that. It's really hard. It's honestly the hardest thing I've ever done is coach my own child. She's 11, so we've got this preteen little emotions that are happening, and we butt heads quite often. But with the gym being in the backyard, my daughter and I have made a deal to where in the gym she cannot call me mom. I don't treat her like my daughter. So just you have to create your barriers and your boundaries and your non-negotiables. So with our schedule, we are only open Monday through Thursday. That was a non-negotiable for me. That's how I grew up. You see a lot of the gymnasts that we compete against, Woga, for instance, they crank out D1 athletes and Olympians and all the things, and those little kids, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds, are training 40 hours a week. We train 12. I only trained 12. I made it through level 9 in gymnastics. I was successful enough in gymnastics with my 12 hours of training to where I could get on the podium above a Logan kid and be like, you train 40 hours a week? I train 12. I go to the movies on the weekends with my friends, you know. And so that was something that was important to me. Even with my 12 hours of training, whenever I got injured, whenever I was 16, it was like I lost my identity whenever I couldn't do gymnastics anymore. Even at just 12 hours a week, gymnastics was who I was. And so whenever I got hurt and it was taken away from me, I was kind of lost. And so I want my kids to be more than just gymnasts. I want them to have a family life. I want them to have friends. I want them to be able to play other sports. I don't want them to be so wrapped up in I'm a gymnast because it's such a short-term career anyways, to where they're completely lost without it.
Yeah, no, you're doing good things here. I can relate to my dad was my Little League coach. And I swore I ran more bases than anybody. He says no, it's equal, but nah. I ran more bases than anybody.
It's been a learning curve for sure. And I'm growing as much as a person as I'm growing as kids. You know, they impact me as much as I'm trying to impact them. And they're changing me. So I'm becoming a better person, a better coach, hopefully a better mom. My daughter was upset with herself yesterday just because she wasn't having a good practice, and she came up to me and she was like, I just want to make you proud. And I'm like, you do make me proud. Like, yes, I am harder on you than I am on the other kids. Yes, I do have expectations of you, but like, I'm always proud of you. So it's hard having a work-life balance with that. But like I said, create your non-negotiables, create your boundaries. Like I said, weekends are for family. If we're not competing, this weekend we have a meet in Dallas. Next weekend we're flying to South Georgia for my husband's drag racing. You know, so we make time for family on the weekends.
Got to make it. So one final question here. What do you tell the baby entrepreneur that is about to purchase the land or start the blueprints?
Do it. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Pray about it. You know, it was really something that I felt pressure. Like I just felt these little nudges the whole time that my daughter was in gymnastics before I opened my own gym. It was just like somebody was pushing me like, hey, this isn't right. Let's do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. I told my husband for 2 years, like, hey, we've got to open our own gym. You've got to open our own gym. He's like, we don't have time. We don't have time. There's no way. Because at that 2-year mark, we're about to celebrate our 2nd birthday at the gym. So we haven't been open for very long. But after talking to my husband for a while and him getting around the gym parents and listening to the comments that were happening there and seeing some of the things that were happening there, he was like, okay, we got to open our own gym. I was like, I told you. And once he got on board, that's when things really started happening. I told you that I didn't understand how it was going to happen. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. I looked at places to rent. I looked at land to buy. And I just kept getting so down about it because I couldn't figure out, I was like, God, if this is really what you want, you got to show me how, because I can't afford a $20,000 a month lease to get one of these buildings that really don't even fit the purpose of what I need to try to make it work. And I can't afford land in an area that would get, you know, the view from the road or whatever to bring in the business. And that's when it was after that night, like I just broke down crying. You know, I was like, I can't figure it out, God. Like, if this is what you want, this is what I need to do, like, you've got to make it happen. And it literally wasn't told to do it happen. It was like, people, they will come. And so it was literally after that prayer, like, I had people reach out to me. I had an office manager reach out to me. I had coaches reach out to me. And then I went ahead and made a pre-registration link. I know that doesn't really apply to every industry, but I had a pre-registration where kids could go in and sign up. And before I even opened, I already had 150 kids on the pre-registration list. So
So did you have the big desert dreams before or after that happened?
That was still part of that there too. Like, I've been struggling with what to call it or anything. I tell everybody I'm from the West Texas desert because that's what this is. Most people outside Texas don't really realize that there's a desert out here. So and even in Texas, like whenever we go to Dallas, they're like, oh, you're from Arizona? Like, what? I'm kind of amazing. The colors, you saw the colors on my slide. I did my colors after the West Texas sunset. That's one of my favorite things about living in West Texas. And then I just had a dream that I wanted to chase and pursue. And
here you are, killing it. Well, congratulations.
thank you.
Everybody, give a round of applause.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, next up, we have the insurance hunter, Garrett Dobbs. Born and raised in Gardnerville, Texas, Garrett Dobbs attended Permian High School before continuing his education at Charleston State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in wildlife management. After graduating, Garrett returned to West Texas to work in the oil field, spending nearly 11 years in the industry before transitioning to entrepreneurship. Garrett founded Insurance Hunter, a health insurance agency dedicated to helping self-employed individuals and small businesses find affordable coverage, guided by the mission of hope, helping other people every day. He strives to make a meaningful impact both through his business and in everyday life. Everybody, a round of applause, Mr. Garrett Dobbs.
Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Like you said, born and raised here. Lived here my whole life. Went to Permian High School. Left, like everybody does out of West Texas. I'm never coming back. This is what I'm doing. So, graduated from Tarleton, degree in wildlife management on Saturday. Started in Oldfield on Monday. Did not stick to my word. I spent 11 years running around there. I'm married, that's my wife and my 2 boys, and I have another one on the way right now. Shelby and I met when we were 16 and started dating, and we've been together ever since. So if you want to know one key to being successful in business, it is having a spouse that will follow you through it. I started the self-insurance agency almost 2 years ago now. And I get a lot of questions about why did I leave the oil field and go start my own company. I needed more time with the family. Anybody who's around here, you don't see your kids, you don't see your wife, you don't get to do anything. The occupation I was in was decently hazardous. Probably the most dangerous part, as y'all know, is driving to work. And then where I was at, we had a horrible health insurance plan. It went up to like $1,800 a month. That was with an employer contribution plan, so I hated it. So I went to find my own insurance. Well, in finding my own insurance, that led me to figure out how hard it is for an individual to find decent health insurance. And I got along really well with the agent that I bought from. We started communicating outside of just client relationship. And he convinced me to start doing this part-time. Well, after a little while doing that, the good Lord afforded me the opportunity to do it full-time. And so I went in, figured out how to get my licensing and start an agency. Like you said, our mission is hope. It's helping other people every day. We have a daily meeting where we ask, what did you do for somebody else today? And that could be, oh, I took somebody's shopping cart. I held the door open for somebody. Whatever it is. But as much as we are an insurance agency, we strive to make people better people. So I tell anybody, even if you come in and you fail, you will gain some kind of life experience from this. Being in this industry brought me back in the church, got me back in the gym. We talk constantly about the words you say matter and how you talk about yourself matters. So if you do something, you're like, well, that was a stupid way to go. You're just putting negative thoughts in your head constantly. So we try and just help people understand how to make your life better through simple things like that. Not saying bad things about yourself, not saying, oh, this is going to be a crappy day, it's raining outside. Say it's going to be a crappy day, it's guaranteed to be a crappy day. So one thing I wanted to bring up there, this is what I would do differently. You know, we always hear about how we were successful, and I had a lot of struggles when I started because my plan was to do this for 6 months to a year part-time, gain up some capital so that I could operate the business. That didn't work. So some things I would do differently is, even though I didn't have a lot when I started, I would have invested in advertising costs. We all know social media, that is the key, that is the go-to to get work and how to get your name out there. I would have figured out a way to get more capital on startup, be that a business loan or just selling some stuff, so that I would have the money to invest in these things. And then in any sales industry, you should be investing in sales courses. I don't care if you think you're the best salesperson in the world, somebody who's better than you out there. So investing in things like that would have definitely helped me out throughout the start. And then probably my biggest mistake is not operating as a business. I was operating it as this was my job, this is what I get paid, this is what I get to use. And I see a lot of people do that in every industry where they run their finances directly off of what their company brings in. And that is a perfect way to fail. Because then you have no capital left over, you have no emergency fund, anything like that. So I would have started a lot sooner operating as a business rather than this is just a W-2 job. And then I threw this in because this is really one of the basis of my foundation of how I operate. It's Galatians 6:9. Let's not become weary of doing good, for in the proper time we will reap a harvest. We do not give up. In our industry, we say the only way to fail is to quit. You can keep going. Just like she brought up, failure is not the end of everything. You can fail over and over, but as long as you learn from your failures and continue to get better, in the end, you're going to win. And so, in February of last year, I didn't get paid. I did not make a single dime in February of last year. I took that as a test for God to see if I was really going to stick this out. And we have made a ton more money this February already, so it's obviously working. And then if you need to get a hold of me, the QR code takes you to my calendar link, phone number, email, website, all right there. So if you need to get in touch, I do, everything from just talking you through what your current plan is. Even if I can't offer you anything, I want people to understand better how health insurance works. Because you will hear stories all the time about how somebody, basically had to give up their entire life savings because they had a medical bill that they weren't prepared for. Because a lot of people will go into an employer, pick a cheapest plan and just run with it. So I'll do consultations for that, free of charge, obviously, just trying to help educate people on how these things work. That's my basis of operation. If I educate you, I feel like I've done good. And if you need me from the education, then you'll come. But yeah, need me, get hold of me there.
All right. Good job. So, Gary, I love doing this, especially when the business, y'all are about people, you're about actually truly wanting to help, because the business was born from you seeking that help and seeing how insane that insurance navigating is. So you mentioned you wish you were taking courses earlier to learn, right? But it seemed like you saw a problem and you went to go solve it.
Yeah, I guess you could say I was a little bit stubborn in the beginning. I thought I could figure this out. Again, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was looking short term. I wasn't looking long term. And most of what we do is delayed gratification. So the work that I do this week will pay out next month. So that was my mindset when I started, was, no, I can figure this out. I don't have the money to spend it on it. It would hurt too much to spend that money now. When looking back, had I spent that few $100, learn how to advertise better, learn how to make better content creation, the potential for sales would have been much higher at that point.
Yeah, but you assembled the plane on the way down, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't hit it. You know, so everything's hindsight. So that's how we learn. You know, you're by going through it, putting your hands on. You know, you can go get a degree. That doesn't mean you're going to be successful. All right, it's learning on the job. You know, what you could have done, but you're here now, so everything works from here forward, right? So no, I think you've done a great job of that. So the insurance hunt, you know, your degree is in wildlife management, right? That's cool, right? And you actually use that in your insurance.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, you saw pictures. We hunt all the time. That's what we do. I've got pictures of me at 4 years old in the duck blind and asleep with that. So it's been part of my life. It's part of my kid's life. And when I started, you know, everybody in our industry has their own little name. And I couldn't make one. You know, nothing cool around Garrett. And, you know, my wife just popped out of the shower one day and said, "Hey, I've got it." "What do you got?" I said, "Your business name." "The insurance on it." "Perfect. I got the wardrobe for it. I'm gonna buy it."
It's built in.
Yes, sir.
You know, so when you do talk about your insurance, you know, you say I'm not a salesman. I don't sell. You know, and I understand and I get that. In reality, every business owner is a salesman, right? Every single one of us, we're a salesman. But you're in sales without selling. That's your motto. That's what you go by. Yes, explain that a little bit.
So, like I was saying there, I like to educate. In my opinion, if you want to look like an expert, you need to put out expert content. You need to educate. You need to tell people things that they can't just easily find. So if I'm breaking everything down, I tell you how everything works. One, it builds credibility for you. And obviously, this is one thing in any industry, but it builds credibility. People don't like a pushy salesperson. You know, you hear anybody in sales, everybody instantly goes to the used car salesman. And obviously, it's off-putting. That will not get you more work. And I don't like to be pushy in anything. And if I can educate you and you don't buy from me, cool, I still win because now you have a better understanding of what you have, what you're buying, how it works. But if you see some of the educational content and you're like, "Oh, well, I actually do need this, but I have not been able to figure this out myself. This guy knows what he's doing," they're likely to come to you without you having to chase them down and be that annoying sales guy and push people away.
I think this next question just leads right into it. Do you find it's good to shop pricing every year for insurance?
So my opinion on pricing is if you're shopping pricing, you're shopping the wrong thing. You need to shop value. You know, we could take a car. I can sell you a car that is bottom dollar, has no frills, might last a year, might do what you want. It'll be the cheapest thing. And I'm not saying that's not always, occasionally it'll be the best option or something. But if you can spend more money, not a lot more money, but a little more money, and have a way better product, then in the long run, you're going to say, what's the old saying, buy cheap once, you know, you'll learn, I don't remember how it goes, but that's what it is with health insurance. And the issue that people have with health insurance is they see the price, they don't want to buy a good plan. They're never sick, nothing ever happens to them, so they don't think they need it. But then as soon as something does happen, they realize they have limited access to care. That deductible that was $250 looks cool until you see your max out of pocket's $8,000. But it was cheap, so it felt good. So you save $200 a month. Well, now it's going to cost you tens of thousands after that. So I don't think that shopping price is the thing to do. I think that shopping value is where you need to go. And if you had issues with your current insurance plan, and I know this is really hard to do, find somebody that you can trust in insurance. Because I turn people away constantly that have a good plan, that they don't need. They just wanted reassurance that their plan was actually good. So shopping your value is much better than shopping your price, because find you who like it.
That's awesome. How is it different being an independent insurance than, say, being like a chain franchise insurance?
Really, we should get more freedom to do what we need to do. And I don't have to answer direct, like I don't have a boss, you know, like being on my own, it is nice because if you're going to go work for a company, again, you be a W-2 employee, I don't like to have to ask somebody if I can take off Christmas to make my living, or to ask to stay home today because my kid's sick, things like that. So being independent, it allows you more freedom, and you honestly can find better products.
Possibly that's what this question is: HSA or no HSA?
So HSA, yes for a W-2 employee, no for a business owner. The purpose of an HSA is you're putting in money pre-tax to pay for your health insurance needs. So you're essentially using it as a tax deduction of sorts. But if you're self-employed, your health insurance costs and your medical costs are all tax deductible at the end of the year anyway. So you're kind of strong Peter to pay Paul. But if you're a W-2 employee, I do like HSAs. I had one when I was just an employee. Typically higher deductibles, but typically also better co-insurance, and you know exactly how much you're going to spend each year and save that each year.
Gotcha. So, another question from the audience here: how do you get through the days where the oil field is looking really nice compared to running your own business?
Yeah, so that is discipline. Reminding myself why I did this, because don't get me wrong, when I was broke starting this, there was plenty of times where I was like, man, I can flip this back around and go make $100,000 this year, not have to worry about it. And you know exactly what you're going to get paid for the most part when you're in the oil field. You don't have a clue whenever everything is provided all 100%. Like so last year, I did not get paid in February. One way that I did remind myself, I had a buddy that owns the oil field company. We worked together for a long time. He called me, had an emergency, and needed somebody to go to a job. He knew I was kind of struggling and knew I had the expertise, so I went out and did it. It's supposed to be an 8-hour job. I was up at 23 hours. That was a reminder right there. So one day back in the oil field, 2 years, and it taught me everything I needed to know that I had forgotten.
So, our reminder.
Yes, sir.
It looks like somebody wants a job. Do you have employees?
So we do, well, it's kind of weird the way we are right now. Right now, I'm remote to the, I guess, home office, you would say. So we all own our own agency, but it's kind of like a state farm. You know, you report to one central company in that sense. But next year, I will hopefully be opening a storefront and actually having employees. Right now, we are still bringing on remote employees, but I don't currently have anyone directly under me, but I'm what they call a mentor in the company. So I'm training, I'm helping people figure out their schedules. You know, because it's like any sales organization, there's tiers to it, and I'm in a middle tier right now that will graduate to a upper tier where I can actually get other agents underneath me. But they'll be the same. They won't be employees. They'll be 1099. They'll run things as though it was their own company, just with guidance from leadership.
Gotcha. So does anybody have any other questions out there? Gary? All right. Well, Gary, we appreciate you. Congratulations on your success, and good luck on your continued success. Yes, sir. All right, thank you, Gary. Insurance Hunter, Gary Dodge. And we have for Miss Deanna Reed, That's a Dream. But I think we learned a lot from these two. It's about people, it's about your passion. And if you can find a way to make your passion make money, serve people, you're winning, right? That's the Japanese term is ikigai, right? It's what do you love, what are you good at, what does the world need, and how can you monetize it? Right? So you put those four elements together, you got yourself a really strong business. So thank you guys for coming out today. Founders led with Midland here at the Seed Building. Next one is at second story, the 20th. Am I right about that, Art? What day? It's at Midland.
We have cocktail. Cocktail learning.
At Cocktail Learning Center. There you go. What's the date on that?
March 4. 5.
March 5. Yeah, okay.
March 20th.
March 20th. That's where I got it. Okay. Mixer at second story. So make sure you come down for that. We're gonna have some fun. We're looking for sponsors. Yeah, the flyers are out on the tables here. Got lots of things going in the community. Permanent-based leadership symposium has happened at the end of this month. That should be a really cool event. Local entrepreneurship conference. Lots of speakers, workshops, and learning. Make sure that you sign up through the QR code. And if your business wants to present, that's where you sign up to get on the list. We'd love to have you. So y'all be careful out there. It's a bit drizzly, but take care, be safe, and see you on the next run.